Good evening, guys. It's the takeaway, and guess what? It's party time. Matt Judge, yes, you heard, Matt Judge has resigned. So I think it's going to be a good Friday night takeaway. It's Friday. Talk, my guy.
Yes.
How you doing?
Yo, all good, bro. All good. Fat and full, watered. Got more drink here if I need it. Not booze, only soft pop. You know what I mean? But it's a good day for the. It's a great day for Man United. It really is.
And before we go any further, I'd like to welcome Pat Lawless to the agenda. He has been here from the start.
Yes.
START from the start. He's backed us. So look, we've got him on the takeaway finally. Pat, introduce yourself, man.
Thank you very much, Mr. B. Happy to be on, and it couldn't be better with the news we just found out about Matt Judge today.
Yeah. Great. It's yeah. Big up Pat as well for all your support over these long months of torture we've had from our club. You know, I mean, it's been a torturous season. It really has. We've had
Lads,
moments where we've. Sorry.
thank you. You're the only thing that's kept me sane in the past year. Otherwise, I'm turned to a stark raving lunatic.
Yeah, hey, listen, without these guys as well, I would have been my head. I don't think I'd be alive. I've been banging my head off that wall with some of the things that have been going on at the club. But yeah, listen, for me personally, I want to swing it back to you, Mr. B. You introduced the show and as to who we are going to be discussing. But before we do that, as you know, guys, on this show, we do like to bring in a little bit of something different. Yo, big up Stumpy in the building. We do like to bring something a bit different. We do usually do guess the player. However, last time, our very own Rebel Irishman, he got it pretty early, and I was so shocked that he got it so early. So this week, I brought something a little bit different, and we're gonna have a little game of. Are you ready for this? Da, da, da. Boom! Spot the ball. Okay, as you can see, there's 4 balls. Only one is the real ball from the actual game. All you got to do is try and tell me which one it is. You've got one guess, so think carefully. If you put a guess in there and you get it wrong, you can't guess again. So there you go. Have a quick look at it, and then it's going to go away, and Mr. B can carry on. So there we go, Mr. B. Let's have it.
Right, before we go, I'm talking backstage, obviously, just talking to Pat there. I got the giggles about the story about our pig.
In a suitcase. Yeah.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot, brother. I enjoyed that one.
It's good, isn't it? That was quality. Yeah. Usually, like if you're getting stopped at customs, it's like, oh, what have you got in that suitcase? Then suspicious goods. And
paraphernalia.
Case, yeah, it was porky paraphernalia.
400 super quint sausages of the finest.
Yes, which I will let me tell you, folks. My father used to bring them back from Dublin when he used to go home, and they are these lovely sausages. They're kind of white, pale in colour, but oh my days, they are the best bangers you could ever have. Let me tell you that, the best bangers.
Oh God, sorry. I just had to. I'm sorry, that wasn't staying in. On Monday, if you're watching, we were speaking about Jadon Sancho's illness a little bit earlier on, and it gave me the giggles as well. So, I just thought I'd put a little smile on your face, give you a little chuckle to yourself as well. But look, Matt Judge, he's been involved in the club since 2012. 2016, he started negotiations. Received a degree in economics and finance at Bristol University. He's had 13 years in banking before joining Man United, so you already knew he was a money man. His job. We all know he hasn't done a good job. Let's just go through a couple of the players, a few players that have been bought on his watch. Bailly 30 million. Zlatan 3. Mkhitaryan 26 million. Pogba 89 million. Lindelof 30 million. Lukaku 75 million. Matic 40 million. Sanchez, obviously the swap deal with both ways to Arsenal. He was involved in that. Dalot 17.4 million. Fred 52 million. Lee Grant 1.5 million. Daniel James 17 million. Aaron Wan-Bissaka 45 million. Harry Maguire, we all know, 80 million. Bruno 56.7 million. Van der Beek 35 million. Tellez 15 million. And Palestri 9 million. Has he wasted our money, Pat?
Oh.
I could have got a lot of Super Queen sausages with that money.
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Pogba, transfer record. Sanchez, highest paid player. What have you got to show for it?
That's it. Yeah, I agree, Pat. And you know, the thing, let's ask ourselves which has been his best signing that he's been involved in. It has to be Bruno Fernandes and probably Ronaldo as it stands right now, to be fair, from my point of view anyway. And yeah, all right, it's the Sancho deal. But again, when you go looking at the Sancho deal with this guy, and you know, let me just say something else, Mr. B. There's not too dissimilar background here between David Gill and Matt Judge. You know, they both come from a pretty similar background. However, what was going on at Man United with this guy and Ed Woodward, they both went to the same university. They're friends. They know it's, you know, it's like, yeah, you can come and get a job here and blah blah blah. Right. So what you've got here, in my opinion, is you've got a setup where the Glazers have give Ed Woodward the role because he helps them buy the club. And he's then in their ear all said, I can make the club earn loads of money, blah, blah, blah. So he's then, this is why I believe the deals took so long. Matt Judge has been identifying players through supposed scouts, i.e. Marcel Boot and the other guy, what's his name?
Jim Lawler.
Jim Lawler, right? Which scouting, you having a laugh. I mean, crikey, O'Reilly just sat and watched the telly, didn't they? And then just rang Old Trafford. Oh, that player there plays for Everton. He's a good player, and I think you should have a look at him. You know, can have me fee now. You know what I mean? It was an absolute joke the way it was set up. But then you've got Matt Judges then getting players identified. He then goes and looks at it. He knows what's the potential price going to be. Then he asks. Then, in my opinion, he's then going to Ed Woodward and saying, "Oh, Ed, blah blah player this much." Ooh. And then Ed Woodward is giving it. You know, when like a mechanic does that deep breath inwards, then you know he's going to say it's going to cost a lot of money, right? Ed Woodward then does that. Ed Woodward's giving it the old, I don't know. Let me just do the numbers first. Then going to the Glazers, no doubt, trying to them because we don't know for certain. Is he then going to the Glazers and trying to then say, look, I think this is a good deal. What do you think? And they're then putting the kibosh on it, as was we led to believe the case was with Mourinho in terms of the players that he wanted. You know what I mean? Or is it just a case of Ed Woodward doing the numbers and going, no, not now. If you can get it cheaper, we'll go a little bit cheaper. That's why the deal for Sancho took so long. And all the other deals took so long. Just like dawdling on deals that, in fact, like you said, Mr. B, they weren't even suitable for Manchester United. Not suitable.
Do you think they were suitable for the look? They've backed, to a certain extent, you can say they've backed their managers. Pat, do you think Pat, I'm going to put this to Pat. Do you think they actually backed the managers enough, or they could have backed them more?
They definitely backed the managers. There's no doubt about that. We spent a lot of money, and we get told that every time we listen to Sky Sports. Every time we go on Sky Sports, we get reminded there's 500,000, nearly $1 billion, and geez, it breaks your heart.
Yeah.
But like Matt Lawler, Matt Judge was put in charge, and he has all the resources in the world underneath him. As we just said, Jim Lawler, Marcel Boat. He actually has Mick Court as well, who's the recruitment analyst. Who on earth analysed any of our signings?
This is what I'm saying, Pat. It's it's all, it doesn't add up, and that's the part of the problem here. It's like we said. I mean, listen, I'm not going to try and repeat what better people than me have said, i.e., Gary Neville and etc. about the poor recruitment. That's a given. That is a given. But when you look at how these people were given the positions they were given, how long they were doing it for, even when it was quite obvious they're making huge blunders in terms of the signings they're trying to make, that don't really necessarily fit in with what the club's ethos is, the philosophy of whatever manager. We've seen players being brought in with where managers may not have even had anything to do with that player coming in, i.e., Di Maria. There's plenty. Di Maria, Sanchez, Donny van de Beek, just 3 examples. Donny van de Beek.
God bless him.
I mean, yeah, well, look, you know what? That's a funny thing, Mr. B. Let me just say, yeah. Let me tell you this though, right? About with Donny van de Beek is, listen, from what we've been led to believe, he may well get a chance under Erik Ten Hag to be the number 6. This is what we read. Whether it's true, I don't know. And we'll only find out in pre-season, because that'll be the time. He's not going to wait till the start of the season. Erik Ten Hag. He's going to go throw straight in at the deep end, because he knows him. He knows his play. He knows his abilities. He knows the understanding that they've got together between them both about what it is Ten Hag wants to do. He's fantastic. That in itself, for me, would be a great point and place for him to start, in terms of starting this new evolution at the club and the new way of playing, etc., and systems, style of plays, identity, and everything else. So, but again, going back to what we're talking about, I'm going a bit off track there. Them kind of signings,
just a bit.
Yeah, well, I just about swerved. I swerved because I could see the brick wall coming towards me. So I'm like, yeah, whoa, right, get back in lane, bro. Get back into the lane. But listen, this guy, Matt Judge, it was quite clear he was way out of his depth. He may be a good banker, he may be a good finance person, and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, as the Glazers are now finding out, that is not always what is top of the list when it comes to filling these roles. There has to be better, a skill set in terms of actual understanding what it is you're doing in that role, in terms of best for the club.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Matt Judge and Ed Woodward are highly intelligent men. They don't get into them positions for no reasons. But Matt Judge is in a position where he's in charge of contracts and player negotiations. He has Jim Lawler, Mick Hort, Marcel Booth, all at his disposal, and don't mind the countless scouts underneath him. How many would you say there is? 100? 200?
There's got to be a fair
few. And then scouts under scouts.
Yeah.
So how, like, my child playing FIFA could have picked their transfers since 2013.
There you go. That's the thing. And sorry, go on.
So it boggles the mind. How on earth? Like, do you know, just one thing, I was just doing a little looking up before I came on the show. Mick Hort is the recruiting analyst. Do you know how much he gets paid a week?
Go on.
I won't like to guess.
Have a guess. Go on.
I'd say I'm just going to go for 30 grand.
I'm on about a week now.
A week.
Well, he can't be 30 grand.
10 grand.
10 grand.
Lower. He's on £4,000 a week.
And he's what? And what's his job?
Recruitment analyst at £4,000 a week.
He's not a very good one, then, is he?
Well, look,
wow, holy moly! Do you know what it seems like? You know what? I'm just thinking there, Mr. B, like what we're talking about here. It's like these guys have come in. Ferguson retired, right? Everything's blah blah blah. These guys have come in. They've been given these roles, and it's almost as if they were just thinking that the club was like it was on autopilot, that it would look after itself, and all they had to do was exactly that. Go out and pick FIFA players, and everything would just work. It's like, oh yeah, just get him, and we can drop him in. It'll work. They can make it work. These are good managers. Louis van Gaal, he's been successful. David Moyes, when he first come in, all right, he didn't win anything of it, really, but he seemed to do okay with Everton on a limited budget. Blah blah blah. So that's the mindset there. That's where the failings are. Is, like I said before, the lack of understanding of having to evolve as a club continuous. Yeah, you have to evolve all the time. You can't stand still in this game. You just can't, because in this league, especially because, you know, we now know all these clubs now have got a lot of money. There's quite a few clubs who've got a lot of money. And, you know, Roman Abramovich, when he bought Chelsea, we know was the biggest change to the Premier League or English football since the back pass rule, in my opinion. You had the back pass rule, which changed things dramatically. And then when the Premier League came in, after that, it was Roman Abramovich, because he altered the landscape, you know, and you had to step up and match it, or you were going to be, you know, seemingly left behind. And only through great skill and understanding of clubs and football itself, you know, were some clubs able to sort of somehow negotiate that, you know, without going into the black in terms of the finances for the club. You know what I mean? We did see that happen, but like I say, with these people, your Matt Judge, your Ed Woodwards, and the other guy, I forgot his name again. Sorry.
Jim Lawler and Marcel Boot.
Jim Lawler, Marcel Boot. You know, they've obviously seemed to think that it was just the club would just sustain itself, and all they had to do was just go point at players and go, "How much do you want, son?" And I mean, the contracts,
the shit that we've bought.
Yeah.
That's not even the shit that we've bought. But look, that's history. That's done.
It's gone.
That's all. That's all finished. The future is Paul Mitchell. Maybe. But before we get there, could you just get that I'll spot the ball up there again, please, mate?
Yes.
And go through a couple of the comments while you're there, if possible.
Okay, let's have a little look. So, folks, this is, you know, we usually do guess the player, but this week we're doing spot the ball. Which of these balls is the ball, the original ball? There's only one. So let's have a look. Where are we going to go? On Monday, I've only come on to see the debut of Pat Lawless. Big up on Monday. He's bigging us up. Stumpy Candletop, Mike Green, Paddy, welcome Pat from Dublin, fantastic fellow. Stumpy Candletop saying number 4. Unfortunately, Stumpy.
No, you can't say that, because then you're gonna
All right, Mike Green.
That's what we will. Now you've got a choice of 3.
No, it is. Let me tell you something, right? I'm going to tell everybody a quick story, right? This afternoon we was on a group call this afternoon, and we was talking, and Mr. B dropped in that actually Jadon Sancho may be suffering from a specific illness, and me and Monday. Yeah. No. Since then, I've not been the same all day. I swear, I've not been the same all day, because I laughed like I've never laughed for a long time. My back was in bits. But so, right, forget that. So we've got some guesses. We've got number 3. We've got number 4. We've got. Is anybody else having a guess here? We've got Devils United in the building. Yo, big up, Maisey, Emma K, Alejandro, Vincent Bullock. Big up. Bath time with Vaughan. Shout out to all lads. Shout out to you too. Wow. Blah, blah, blah. Number 2, Paddy. Vincent Bullock saying number 1. Bath time with Vaughan. It's number 4. 40 yards above the bar. Alejandro Trosh is saying number 1. What game is a picture? I can't tell you what game it is, because you just go out and go and get it. You'll just go and get it and get the image. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there it is. So give us your guesses, folks. What's this? Oh yeah, hold on. Somebody's mentioned a comment here. So Stumpy's saying Bosman was the biggest change to football. The Bosman ruling. Yeah, that was a.
When you said the back pass, I was thinking, I'm sure there's been bigger changes. I couldn't think of. It's Friday.
No. No, but that was the first major change to football. That was like the biggest thing. What had happened since before that? Not a lot. You know what I mean? It was when they changed the back pass rule. Then we got the Premier League, and then after that, Yeah, I don't know what came first, the Bosman ruling or Roman Abramovich. Which one came first? Does anybody know that?
The Bosman.
But what year was the Bosman then? Let's have some guesses at that, folks, whilst we're playing quiz time. Let's have a guess. But anyway, that's going now because I'm starting to see some answers flowing in.
Look.
Yeah, bath time. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Go on, Mr. B.
Paul Mitchell. Obviously, you know, we like hope. We like to feel that something great is going to happen after all of the shit that we've been in. The club, for whatever reason, seem to be doing. Well, John Murtagh seems to be making half-decent decisions, or seems to be half decisions at the moment, and Richard Arnold seems to be spreading the workload that one man seemed to have thought, Mr. Edward would seem to have thought that he could have done on his own. Obviously, Mitchell was appointed sporting director of Monaco 2020. At the moment, he's struggling with key figures on the board, including Vice Chairman President Joan Santori, but he's got a really good relationship with Dmitry Rabolovolev. Yeah, him.
Sounds good. Sounds good enough.
Yeah, I'll say that, Mr. B.
And obviously he's ready to. He wants to keep him, and he's ready to offer him big money to stay, as in his working budget. Obviously, the players that he can got, but I mean, Paul Mitchell, Mane, last signing before he left Southampton, he signed Song, and obviously he got and Kununku from. I know I've said that wrong, but that's just tough. From RB Leipzig, and obviously we've seen his numbers this season. Pat, to you, is this somebody who you want to come? You feel can come? You feel would push us in even further in the direction that we feel that we should be going in?
Like 100%. Like Mitchell started off in MK Dons, which we don't really know much about, but when he went to Southampton, you could see the progression he made there and the players that he recruited along with Poch. Then he went to Spurs and on a shoestring budget brought players in, and Poch done well again. He went across the water to Leipzig, but I can't report or tell you anything about that because I don't know too much about Leipzig. But he's been on a natural progression, and now he's at Monaco. And I wouldn't imagine you go to Monaco without having some sort of excellent track record. So he seems like the man. He's not just staying in the one country and applying his trade. He's gone around the world and he's dipped into every market. So to me, he has everything. He's a mixed bag of everything.
A good mixed bag of everything.
Not
the cheap. Not the cheap shitty sweets.
No, this ain't a lucky bag. We ain't talking lucky bags here, Mr. B, man. This is like a Harrods bag. You know what I'm saying? This is a proper bag, bro. A bag that you're proud to walk around the town centre with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right? He has everything.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pat. And you know what? Listen, I know Monaco. You know the success they had there in Ligue 1 and all the rest of it not so long ago. Big club. Blah, blah, blah. However, let's just get one thing straight right now. If Manchester United are going out to get this guy, he's coming to United. There's no two ways about it. Because you know what? You put everything together that's happening at the club right now, you know what? It all adds up to me to a huge, big, positive plus sign. You know, we're at a stage now where things are starting to turn in the right direction. We're not talking about a little kind of back road here, shortcut. We're talking a whole, new motorway job here. This is like a proper full on. Now we know which direction we should be going in since we've got rid of these people that have been taking us in the wrong direction. So for me, this guy, if he comes in, Dusan Tadic, for example, for Southampton, and then he ended up under Erik Ten Hag. Look how well he did under Erik Ten Hag. You got a player there. And I've always said this, Mr. B and Pat, with players, is, look, sometimes players can turn out to be, he's crap or he's this and he's that and the other. But then when they go under a different manager, they seem to shine. So it's not just about the player. It's also about the manager, can the manager get the best out of the player, you know, in terms of what he's wanting to do in his system, his style of play, his philosophy. If he can see that in his play at another club that he's playing for where he's not doing so well, but he can see elements, and he's like, yeah, you know what, I know I could make you work in my squad, then, you know, brilliant. And this guy, this Paul Mitchell, he can be the one to, if he can identify, you know, if he can clock, if he understands Erik Ten Hag's philosophy and Erik Ten Hag's style of play, what's needed at Old Trafford in terms of the way you carry yourself, the attitude, the blah blah blahs, he's going to go out and he will identify for us for Windows some absolutely sensational targets. Then it's down to, you know, the aforementioned guy to go out and actually get the deal done and negotiate correctly, and not overpay in terms of wages. Keep everything on as a good balance. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I just think we're on the cusp of something great. All right, listen, I'm not going to start getting too excited.
Don't say great. Yeah, don't.
Just say we're on the incline, talk.
Yeah, we're on the incline. Well, in terms of what we've been through over the last 8 years, right? I'll say I'm going to stick with great. In terms of where we can get to because of the changes. When you add it up and look at everyone who's left the club now and what they've done over the last 8 years, it's an absolute, it's an atrocity. It's a crime against football. It's a crime against football fans. It's just terrible.
Talk.
Yo.
Nobody wanted them to take over in the first place. They did. They come in. They fucked up. Oh, they messed up.
We got a whole 29 minutes. 29 minutes.
Yeah, 29 minutes. That's a record. Mr. B.
I was sure it was going to be me.
Solo, if you're watching, apologies. They've messed up.
In the jar. In the jar.
That jar's overflowing where the money's falling on the floor right now. Yeah, look, decisions are being made, rightly or wrongly. We hope that they're right.
Well, Mr. B, there can't be any. Listen, Mr. B, listen. Exactly what I've just said. Think about it. Think about what I've just said. Go back and look over the last 8 years at everything that has happened. We've got rival fans coming to us and saying, you spent £1 billion and what have you got? Right? We have to just accept that and go, yeah, all right, it's true. But then when you take that away and go, wait a minute, Manchester United, right? You're talking about Manchester United here. We've spent £1 billion on what we got to show for it. That is criminal, absolutely criminal.
But it has got the feeling that we are starting to build a football club again.
Well, that's what my point, Pat. This is what I'm saying is we've had people. It's like saying I'm going to get a plumber to come and fit my kitchen. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, how does that work? Because he's cheap. He's cheaper than the joiner. You know what I mean?
He's cheap.
He'll do a good job.
And he's cheap and he's got loads of Instagram followers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you know what? For me, I just think that this is like, it's a really exciting time. And like I said, I'm not going to say we're going to be challenging for this. We're going to do any of that nonsense because we're not. My remit for Ten Hag and the whole backroom staff and all the new people who turn up is just doing a good enough job in the first season, especially to keep us in the Premier League first season. That's all the remit.
What do you mean keep us in? What do you mean keep us
Hold on,
You're taking the piss.
Hold on, Mr. B. Hold on, Mr. B. What did I say? 1 second. What did I say? Like must have been about 8 months ago now. I said, when we appoint a new manager, we need to change the way we're doing it. Our approach to a new manager. Hold on. I said we need to change our approach in the way we appoint a new manager. You can't be giving managers targets for this, targets for that, putting the pressure on with everything that's been going on at the club, the way it's run, and all the history and all the blah blah blahs, because it's just not going to work, right? If we're going to appoint a new manager, they've got to come in. And they've got to be given just a simple remit, especially the first season. Get us stable, get us playing good football, right? Forget about top four, because you start putting them kind of targets in, forget it. You're already on the back foot. And I'll tell you what I'll say, right? I'll say it again. What's his name? Brian McClare. Brian McClare was on the paddock about 3 weeks ago, and he said exactly the same thing that I said 8 months ago. So I was over the moon, and that's exactly where we have to be with this first season, Mr. B. Let him just bleed in, get us in.
Talk. You cannot have us fighting relegation, bro.
I'm not. No. Mr. B, no. You misunderstand what I'm saying.
No, I heard all I heard was
No.
avoid relegation. Sorry, whatever else you said.
No. Mr. B, listen. Listen. There's no way that we're going to go anywhere near that in the table. What I'm saying is we're not going to be giving Erik Ten Hag early targets like you got to get top 4, you've got to do this, you've got to win that, you've got.
There's a figure there. There's a position there.
Now, what a talk.
Would you be happy if? Sorry, I'll let you finish, Pat. Sorry, go on.
No, so what I'm thinking is that, like, I think we're going to be really shocked by the transfers that we bring in next year, and they're not going to be big contracts and big money, and there won't be that added pressure of you're after getting 200 million worth of players. Sorry, 200 million worth of player. You're expected to turn it around in one season. Yeah, here's Declan Rice. Make it all better.
Yeah. No, this is the thing. But what I'm saying is this has to come from the horse's mouth. This has to come from the board, from the owners, for so that he knows himself that he's got free reign. This is what the conversations. If you're going into that role,
all I want to know is what position we finish. You would tell me would be acceptable next season.
Top 4.
And I think realistically, no, we ain't going to get. I don't see it. I don't see you getting top 4 next season. I'm not even going to start saying, oh yeah, we will get top 4. I'm not going to say that. No, if we get anywhere near a European spot next season, anywhere near it, happy days. It's his first season, Mr. B. We all know what his remit. We all know what his philosophy of his with youth. Blah blah. We know what the transfer budget is. So if you're trying to tell me that Erik Ten Hag is coming in here with the magic wand, then you're going to be sadly disappointed because it doesn't work like that. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a long, long time for him to get to challenge. Getting to top 4 is a real difficult task, especially now we've got Newcastle to contend with as well next season.
We finish this season. We're going to finish this season
7th or 6th.
Say 7th, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect with Ten Hag coming in that we finish lower than 7th. I'm sorry. That is the lowest that I'm expecting. And we've got in here from Alessandro. He's a serial winner, which means then that he's expecting. I can't see if we don't. We have to be better than this season.
No, you misunderstand what I'm saying, Mr. B. This is about if you come to me, right, whatever I was talking. I'll go back to. I'll simplify it, right. You're going to come to me, and I say to you, I'll give you a specific plan of what I want you to do, right? Brand new kitchen, right? Really complicated. And I say, oh, right, listen, I know you've done a good job there at all the place. So when you come in here, I want you to do this for me. Straight away, you're under pressure because it's the biggest house you've ever done, blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, right, okay. So you straight away as soon as you've even done anything, you're under pressure because I'm giving you a plan, what I want you to do, right? But if it's the other way around and I bring you in and I say, yeah, listen, I know what you've done over there. You've done a good job, blah, blah, blah. You come in here, you tell me what you can do. What can you do, right? I'm going to let you tell me what you can do. And then we'll work with that and we'll go. And I'll give you the time to get it right because I know at the end, when you do get it right, it's going to be one of the best, if not the best. And that's how it's going to work at the club for Erik Ten Hag, especially, like I said, in his first season. After that, the seasons after that is when we can start to look for cups and, positions high up the table and all the rest of it. But it's going to be 3 or 4 years, I think, before we even actually start challenging with Man City and Liverpool.
Okay.
And don't forget Chelsea.
Okay, sorry. I want Pat to finish. Sorry, Talk. I know you was talking. A message has come up here from Vincent. This is why I love this channel. And you guys in the comments and that, Pat. So I'm going to let you finish, and then I just want to talk about this comment right here. Sorry, Pat.
Okay, so basically what I was going to say was that if you look at our squad, regardless of how poor we are playing at the moment, the size of it and the strength and depth in comparison to your West Ham, everybody else who's trying to compete for 5th, 6th and 7th at the moment. If Ten Hag comes in next year, and regardless of who he signs, let alone just has them players working hard and playing together, there's no reason why 4th, 5th, 6th at minimum is not achievable. 7th or 8th is, I'd be heartbroken if you finish 7th or 8th again. Especially if we're working hard. That's all.
Pat, I agree. I 100% agree. But what I'm getting at is how is that should not be coming from the board. That is a demand. That's not a demand from the board. That's not a demand from the owners, right? If you do that and give him that free role, give him that free reign, so that he's not under any pressure at the start. You've got to
talk.
But he has to be under some sort of pressure.
He's under. One sec, Mr. B. He's going to be under pressure anyway, Pat, because he's taking over one of the biggest, if not biggest, club in the world. So he's already in a pressurized environment right now before he's even got anywhere near any of the team or made signings. He knows that himself. So, like I'm saying, you've got to think about this in the long term. We've given him this 3-year contract with obviously looking at hopefully extending it if things work out as we all hope they will. But right from the off, if we give him that free, that nice clear base to work from with the right people around him, making the right decisions, bringing in the right players, and he's got the free role to actually get rid of Deadwood, get rid of players who look, you ain't cutting it. You're not going to work in my system. I don't care how big your name is. Don't care how much you cost. You're going. We're giving them the free role to maybe introduce some youth players into the squad to try and bleed them in and give them the time that they need to shine and show that they actually can take on this huge task of playing for this great club, And for me, it's a bit of pain that we might have to endure in first season for him to actually get it right, so that when he goes into the second season, it's all the hard work is already done and the mistakes are made early on. We don't want him to start making mistakes later down the line when we're all expecting more than that he could actually give us.
Well, look. This could be the big mistake. Vincent Bullock, just want your thoughts on Ralph being the manager for the tour. I don't think it's right, and from the new manager, so we can learn a bit about the players. What are your thoughts on this one?
Right. Okay. So, sorry. One second. Let me just get this right. So you're telling me that Ralph is going to be doing pre-season?
Well, that's what it sounds like. I mean,
where's that come from?
That's the first I've heard of that, and if it is, I'm shocked.
Yeah, right. Let me just ask Vincent Bullock. Where have you got that from, bro? Let us know where you've got that from, because I have not read anything about this.
Only 24 hours ago, I thought Ralph was going to be the Austrian manager.
Well, he is. I think he's probably going to do a job share. While we're talking about job share talk, can you get this spot the ball back up, please?
There you go, folks. Have a gander. Let us know which number do you think it is? Which number? Come on.
Except for number.
I'm saying nothing. Oh dear.
I can't even remember which number Talk said now.
I'm not going to repeat it, Pat. I'm not going to repeat it.
I can't remember which one.
But, big up Doug in the chat as well. Big up Doug on the football channel. I mean, look, do you know what? Actually, Doug's in. He's a Liverpool fan, right? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't follow Liverpool. I don't know. I know all about the history and all the blah blahs, but I don't follow them. Doug, when Jurgen Klopp first arrived at the club, right? Under what kind of remit was he working, Doug? If you can let us know what you think the remit he was working under when he first turned up at Liverpool, this could actually sort of add to this conversation we're having now about Ten Hag, coming in and what the kind of remit is going to be for him, especially for his first season. Because, like I say, for me, we get this right in the first season.
You just want to avoid relegation. We know, Talk. We know. We've heard. Now,
well, listen. That'll look after itself, Mr. B. That'll look after itself. There's no two ways about that. But it's not. Listen, that's not the point of what I was getting at. The point was how you make the manager feel when he's first in his first season. You've got to make him feel that he's not. There's no pressure. There's no pressure. That takes away a lot of potential problems if that isn't there. It really does. So it will actually help us in our attempts to actually get into the higher positions up the league. There's no two ways about that. But that has to be a conversation, surely.
Well, look, problems we might have, problems we probably don't have, is we're running out of time on a Friday. So Dybala on a free and Max Aarons to replace Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Something that's popped up today. My thoughts, I will save them until you lot have had your talk. you can tell us what you think. I'm going to start with you, Pat. What you saying? Dybala, Max Aaron's any good?
Dybala, absolutely no, and that's not down to his quality because he is a quality player. But I just want to see some young, hungry players coming into the club, and not players who are made or just going for the next contract increase and financial benefit for them. Max Aaron's, like, he's going to be an improvement on Aaron Wan-Bissaka because that poor chap is shot by confidence.
Yeah,
I like the way you say. I like that one. The poor chap. I like that one.
I really do feel for him because it was like when he came to the club, he was young, he was enthusiastic, and he was a decent player. He wasn't the best player, but he was good. And then the second season, he kind of started figuring out how poor the two chaps were beside him. I went, oh, I'm in for a horrible time here. And then it just got progressively worse after that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Look, for me, I think Dybala. Listen, he has got some good qualities. But again, 21-22 season, he's played 25 matches, 9 goals, 5 assists. His best season.
Is that all he's played?
Yeah, 25 matches. The 2017-18 season, he played 33 matches and scored 22 goals and got 5 assists. Now,
do we look for our transfers in a log called the Weetabix leg section? Do we? Do we really? Because I swear to God, we can't sign a player who can play more than 20 games a season.
Well, I know it's great, and his age. Look, he's 28 years old. I mean,
get the boat.
For me, depending on what kind of numbers you're talking about, right? If the numbers add up in Erik Ten Hag's reckoning, and Erik Ten Hag thinks this guy can work for me for a specific amount of time, whilst I get everything laid down and get understandings of philosophies, of start patterns of play, of understanding of the system, blah, blah, then I'll say, yeah, happy days, go for it. But again, if it's silly money and he's wanting daft wages and all this nonsense, another Alexis Sanchez, man, I'll be saying, nah, not happening. Max Aaron's, now look, I mean, I agree with what Pat said. You know, for me, it's a definite improvement upon Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because Wan-Bissaka, for me, will he get a chance under Erik Ten Hag? I'll have to wait and see. He may well do, but I just think we do need more in those positions. Both sides, if I'm honest with you, both sides. We're not just talking about right back here. We're talking left back as well. That we're deficient.
Have you seen a lot of Max Aaron about you? Like, has he got a cross in him? Is he as defensively good as he is offensively?
Do you know what? I've not really. I haven't. But yeah, what do you say, Mr. B?
No, I said this is going to be the interesting part because I don't know. No, Norwich been great Norwich have been dead this season, and he's part of. All right, it might not necessarily be his fault, but unless he's coming for really cheap,
well, yeah, that's the thing.
And you know his contract's till 2024, but Man United aren't going to be the only club interested when they get relegated. The only good thing is that he went down with them already. I don't think he will stay down with them this time.
Yeah, you'd nearly want to get him for nothing and less wages just to replace Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Just to because Wan-Bissaka is dead wood now at this stage. The good luck, God love him, you know.
I'm just going to say that, Mr. Beam. Monday's put a comment there about Max Aarons, and but again, look, you know, we can identify all the players we want and say, oh, I like him and we like this and we like that. But at the end of the day, like I said, if players that are being earmarked are not got the qualities that are wanted and needed by Erik Ten Hag to actually start to build what he needs to build early on, then they ain't going to be nowhere near the club. You know, it's as simple as that.
And Monday's right, layered over Aaron's. We probably have better lads in the academy than what Max Aaron's can give for the money they'd be looking for him.
Yeah, well, this is what I was going. This ties into what I was getting at earlier. Now, if this is the thing, you know, these are the questions that Erik Ten Hag himself will be saying. Yeah, wait a minute. Are you telling me you want me to go out, or you want the scouts to go out, or you know, Paul Mitchell to go out and actually buy this Max Aarons when I don't rate him as much as I do rate our own player in Laird? I want to use Laird. I want you to give me the time and the patience for me to get this kid in, because I think he can do a number for me. But I've got to have that freedom to do that, right? This is what I'm getting. That's the whole point of what I was saying earlier. Mistakes will be made, but we have to accept that early on at the club. We've got to accept it, because if we don't, like I said, we don't accept these mistakes early on, we are going to have to face them further down the line when things mean more. When everything looks like everything's going great, then all of a sudden we have to then introduce players that have not really been had enough time, etc., and everything just falls to crap. And then everybody starts getting on Ten Hag's case. He's not good enough. He's this and he's that. We've seen it all before. So you know what? Like I said, get the mistakes out of the way early. But in terms of the Max Aarons one, I think for me, if it was something that, again, Ten Hag was wanting to take a gamble on, then I'll back it. I'll back it if Ten Hag wants to take a gamble on it. But again, it comes down to the numbers, doesn't it?
Well, my opinion is no, and no for both of them. My son loves.
Do you want to give a third no, Mr. B?
Yeah, just give us a third no, Mr. B, just to make sure.
I thought you were going to break into song there. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's that song? No.
Listen. So I leave solo on a Thursday because he sings. I come on here. I've got Pat singing and I've got Talk singing. You lot are going to kill me. So I don't want to hear any more singing. I want to see the spot the ball, so these final people can get their guesses up, so we can end this show. I don't need to eat tonight.
Okay, folks, let's have it now. Right, look, this is spot the ball. Now listen, tell me which one of those balls there is the original ball in the shot. Put your numbers in. The first one to get it right, I will call it out and you'll be the winner. So let's go. Come on, get your numbers in the chat. It's 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let's have it.
Let's see.
The first person.
These people.
Yeah, let's see who gets it right first. I'm just waiting for the chat to light up here with numbers, but nothing's happening. Come on, folks. It's not that hard.
So we've got
Alejandro Trosh is the winner. Alejandro, you have won, my friend. You got it right. It is number 1. That's the original ball. That's the number 1.
It definitely wasn't number 4, was it?
No, but you know what? If you look at the picture again, this is what I knew would fool people. It's the shadow. You see the shadow on the floor?
What are you talking about, bro?
You see the shadow on the floor?
Under what ball?
Number 4. You see it?
Jesus Christ! What are you watching your thingy on? A 65-inch? I'm on a laptop. I can't see a shadow.
Mr. B, bro, man, you're right. You need to go to Specsavers, bro. Should have got to Specsavers.
He got a projector on the wall.
He must have.
Can't you see a shadow? Come on. If you can't see that shadow, Mr. B, man, and you're driving, I'm walking.
I deliver boxes, and people tend to stay out of my way because I tend to drive with my horn on, so it's all right. But I can't see the shadow. I'll be honest, bruv. I cannot see the shadow.
Look, hold on. Look at that. Stump is saying number 2. Alejandro Trosh is saying number 3. But you've already got it right. Delano, Francis, you're big up. You got SHAH saying number 4. No, it ain't number 4, bro. That's why I put number 4 where I put it. Because I thought I'm going to really confuse. I'm going to put it right there as if it's just coming off his foot. It's actually number 1. So Alejandro is right. And that's the end of the game. But so big up to Alejandro. Wade in.
Guys, we've hit that 50-minute mark. Pat, do you know what? It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure to have you on. Guys, if you missed the beginning of the show, Pat's been following us from day dot. He's a member. He won the hoodie that we still haven't managed to get to him yet. But Solo's, trust me, Solo, God bless Solo. He's under pressure, man. He's working on it to get it out to you. So, Pat, can we find you anywhere on any socials or anything like that? Or
yeah, you might find me on the Man United agenda.
Yeah.
Do you see? And this is why I love this show. I love it.
Actually, Mr. B, there's another place you can find Pat. That is at the customs and excise at your local airport, trying to smuggle sausages. Trying to smuggle sausages out. Yes, big up, Pat. Sausage smuggler.
Listen, lads, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for a warm welcome as well as you guys. I really enjoyed tonight. A little bit nervous coming on, as you would expect. But this channel, it's just excellent. Like, we drew 1-1 last night, and we got a point. and the smiles on everybody.
Yeah, exactly. But
We were terrible, but we were all still happy. And we must be
Yeah.
the happiest Man United channel out there at the moment because everybody else is miserable and we're having a laugh every day.
yeah,
We-
that's it.
look,
Pat, go on,
we
Mr. D.
try. Look,
So I thank
live,
you. I thank you
yeah.
guys.
No, it's been a pleasure, man. You guys in the chat, I didn't even ask you halfway through the show. Solo's gonna slap my wrist. If you're here still, please like, please share, please subscribe, talk. When are we on again? We've got the watch along on
Monday.
Brentford watch
7:30.
along Monday.
Yeah, 7:30 Monday. Watch along. We're
Preview
playing Brentford Sunday, I think.
Sunday
Yeah.
with Bossman Solo and OMONDI and a couple of extras, no doubt. But it's Friday. I said you don't have to be here. I say every week, you don't have to be here. It's late, but you are. It's appreciated. We thank you so much. This is me, Mr. B, my right-hand man, TalkMU,
Yo.
and the superstar sausage smuggler, which is Fat Lawless, man. Big up, bro. Thank you so much for coming on today, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
guys. Thanks.
Cheers, man. This is
Big
us.
up, Pat.
This is the agenda, and we're out.